What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Eddie Express DFS podcast presented to you by Draft Dashboard. Remember, you can try out all the tools I use in this video 30 days for $1 by clicking my link in the description below. Gets you access to the cheat sheet, position optimizer, lineup optimizer, sleeper and studs, player trends. You get access to my custom player pool, all kinds of great stuff here, mass lineup generator. Just wanted to give that availability to the people of my channel for just $1. Happy MLK Day to everybody. We have games. We have two different slates. We have an early and a late. I'm going to try and cover both of them. A lot of the early stuff for me is dependent on certain injury news, but we'll dig into that in just a second. Here is the cheat sheet for the main slate. So this is more important for people playing the main slate, but here's the ownership and the projected ownership and the studs, where people are going. As you can see, Damian Lillard and Anfernee Simons getting a lot of love because of CJ McCollum being out. So just kind of stuff to keep an eye on here. We'll get into the lineup or the position optimizer. Before we do so, please click that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our new videos. All that stuff helps me out. If you like to support the channel, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. So for the early slate, I'm just going to talk about a few guys that I like, and then we'll go from there. I'm not on the Harden train today, even though his price tag is starting to come down. I rostered him the other day and I watched that Laker game, and what the Lakers did is they extended a double team at half court on him, and it really kind of bothered him, and I think that teams might try and redo that today. Teams like OKC may be playing a guy like Nerlens Noel in the starting lineup so they can do that extended double team. They were running out JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, and then whoever was guarding him. So it really gave him a lot of problems. So I think I'm going to be okay there. Russell Westbrook, I think, is just I think he's starting to get overpriced now. It is a revenge game in OKC. Trae Young, I always seem to like Trae Young. I think it's a decent matchup. But I don't think I'm going to any of those guys to start, depending on what kind of value opens up. We'll talk about the value guys. A lot of it has to do with the center position. But I do like Derrick Rose today against Washington. He's been starting lately. He's price tag's up to 7,200, which isn't ideal, but I think he has a legit 50-point upside in this game. Washington doesn't play defense, and Derrick Rose is going to be locked in for 30 minutes or so, and I think Derrick Rose is a good spot to be at on the early slate. Next guy I want to talk about is Fred VanVleet, who's just underpriced. He's back and he's playing full minutes. Like, if you get 48 for a guy at 6,700, it's an absolutely exceptional value, and I think Fred VanVleet against Atlanta is in a great spot, so I'm going to add him in as well. Lonzo, I have some interest in, but a lot of that has to do with the Pelicans' injury news. We have Favors, who's a game-time decision. You have Holiday, who's a game-time decision. You have J.J. Redick, who's a game-time decision. So a lot of that has to do with the injury news on those guys. Another guy I do like is Darius Garland. He just plays so many minutes. He's going to play 35 minutes. Price tag's up a little bit on him. He's at $5K. Just a guy I wanted to talk about because he plays so many minutes. The Knicks don't play a ton of defense. I think that Garland could be in a spot depending on what kind of injury news we get. Now, like I said, that injury news is very, very key to the early slate, because if you have multiple guys that are out for the Pelicans, you can be playing, Jahlil Okafor. You can be playing Josh Hart. Hart was one player that I did have a ton of interest in. I'm going to assume that at least one of the three guys is going to miss this game, and that's just going to greatly benefit Josh Hart, especially if it's Jrue Holiday and or J.J. Redick. I think Josh Hart's in a pretty good spot at 4,400, but a lot of that does have to do with ownership news. So just keep an eye on that. Other guys I would have some interest in, Terrence Ross. He's fine at 5,400. His price has come up. It's not the best value in the world, but he's playing like 30 minutes while DJ Augustine is out. So just something to keep an eye on. Charlotte doesn't play a ton of defense either. Wasn't a whole lot we liked at the small forward position. That's why we ended up getting to Josh Hart. Or shooting guard, sorry. Small forward, similar stuff. I liked Evan Fournier. Again, Charlotte doesn't play a ton of defense. Fournier is not a super exciting guy to roster, and he is very scoring dependent, but I feel like this is a decent spot for him. He's got a 5.6 value at just 5,600. He was a guy that I was interested in. Dylan Brooks has been playing amazing lately. 32, 43 at a 45 in there. I think the price tag is just kind of caught up to itself. It's up to 5,800 now, so I think I'm okay there. One guy that I did miss in the point guard spot was Elfrid Payton. I have in my lineup right now. He's got a 5 value, 33 last time out. He's going to be benefiting from other guys being out, getting more minutes against a good Cleveland team or a bad Cleveland team. So I had some interest there. Just wanted to talk about him quick. Power forward. I'm liking Jaren Jackson Jr. today. His price has come down. He's got huge upside, especially against a team like New Orleans that plays really, really fast and doesn't play a whole lot of defense. Jaren Jackson Jr. is one of those guys that a lot of people don't like playing him because he gets into foul trouble, and I used to be that way, and every time I've rostered him this year, he's been awesome. So he's one of those guys that I seem to just get right, and I think his ownership will be down just because of the recency bias, but I think he's in a pretty good spot here, so I had some interest there. And then center. Center, I'm really interested in Drummond. 9,600 against Detroit. Or against Washington. Washington does not play defense. I mentioned that earlier with Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose and Andre Drummond make for a good correlating mini stack. So I had quite a bit of interest there. And then again, like Al Horford. If Al Horford is out, you can look at guys like Pelly, I think his name is. I can't pronounce his name, but he's down here somewhere. He's like 3K. Or O'Quinn, if Horford's out, you already have Embiid out, so yeah. So Pelly down here at just 3K. I think he's in a pretty good spot if you get to some injury news on Horford. Horford is dealing with a back, I think it is. It's a back or an ankle, and he's an older guy, so I'm kind of expecting him to miss this game, but that can give you some value. Jahlil Okafor is also questionable. Held out with a sore back, uncertain if he'll suit up. So yeah, if you get news that Derek Favors is going to be out and Jahlil Okafor is also out, you almost have to play guys like Jackson Hayes and Melly just because they're gonna get the minutes. They're cheap enough to where they're rosterable, and yeah, like Jackson Hayes, 3,900, he could play like 30 minutes if both of those guys are out. So just stuff to keep an eye on in the injury news. A lot of it has to do with centers for me. Al Horford, Favors, And then the whole Pelicans team just with Holiday and all that. But I'll show you my lineup as it currently sits for the early slate. Looks just like this. Except we'll put Drummond here and go from there. So if I have Drummond here, we'll have Triple J here. And then Garland here. So this is the lineup that I currently have. A lot of this is going to shake up, though. Like, I could be playing a guy like, for example, we'll use Pelly as my example, just because it could really shake a lot of things up. Just to show you how big of a difference it makes if a guy like that is out. Well, actually, let's just do it here because it's probably quicker. So if I put in Pelly here, and then I put in Drummond here, that can allow you to get all the way up off a guy like Alfred Payton and roster Devontae Graham, Lonzo Ball. I kind of like Payton today, so we could do it with Derrick Rose. You can get up to a guy like Ben Simmons. So a lot of this has to do with center value. And then if a guy like Jackson Hayes, I don't know if he's power forward eligible or not, but if he is, it doesn't look like he is. Or you could just, you could play both of them if they're both out. You could put Jackson Hayes here. And then you can pretty much get to anybody you want. You want to get to Trae Young, you get to him. You want to get to Ben Simmons, you get to him. You want to get up off Elf Payton, you can get to like Kendrick Nunn, who's been playing really well. So just a whole lot of moving parts depending on the injury news. I know that's not the greatest thing to hear in the world, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. A lot of injury stuff here. Let's go to the main slate. I haven't really fully looked at the main slate, but I'm going to do it with you guys right now. So point guard, I got LeBron against Boston at 19%, 10-8. Yeah, I'd be interested in LeBron. 10-8 seems like a pretty good price tag to have against him. Look at his career against Boston: 63, 71, 70, 84, 47. That's pretty good. Devin Booker, who's been playing amazing lately, against San Antonio, probably wouldn't be interested there, just because a lot of people are going to chase the game that he just had. I rostered him last time he played, and the Spurs just seem to play slower, so I wouldn't be interested there. Damian Lillard, obviously in a great matchup against Golden State. He's going to soak up a lot of the CJ McCollum usage. He was super chalky last time out. Put up a 46, which doesn't hurt you, doesn't help you. But in this matchup, he's just too cheap to have all that usage. D'Angelo Russell against Portland. I guess you could go there. I think I'd be most interested in grabbing Lillard out of this list. And then after Lillard, like I said, I haven't built a lineup yet. Anfernee Simmons, though, 3,900, I'd be interested again there. He took a lot of shots. He was getting usage out of that. I think I would rather have LeBron than Russell, but I haven't built the lineup yet, so we'll take Russell just because of the value, so maybe he can open some stuff up. And then we'll put it into the optimizer, see what it spits out quick. Andrew Wiggins against Denver. I think I'm good there. I'm a Wolves fan too, but Wiggins just not the greatest spot against Denver. Mitchell against Indiana. Kyle Bridges. Anfernee Simmons, already got him. Gary Trent had a huge game. 48. I would probably consider him. He's not going to start, but he's going to come off the bench and play, a decent amount of minutes. DeRozan's been playing awesome lately, but I just don't like that game. I'll include LeBron. We'll throw it in an optimizer and just see what we get. Draymond, 5,700. That's a pretty good price tag. Gordon Hayward against the Lakers, absolutely, especially with Jaylen Brown and Walker being out. Jaylen Brown looks like he might have been moved up to questionable. Right sprained thumb. That doesn't sound fun, so I'm expecting him to miss. We'll go into the power forward list quick. We'll just bang out a couple more players here, and we'll throw it into an optimizer. DeAndre Ayton, like I said, I just really don't like this game. Ayton's been playing amazing. He's back in the starting position again. 8,300. Price is creeping up. I think I'd be more interested in a guy like Jason Tatum, LaMarcus Aldridge. I really don't like the Phoenix and Laker game, so I think I'm good there. Porter's price is now unrosterable. Melo, I'm good there. Spellman, I'm good on. Pascal, I'm good there too. One thing I always like to tell people is, like, make sure you're checking injury news. You could follow NBA Fantasy Labs on Twitter. They're super good about posting pretty much everything when somebody's in or out. It makes a big difference. Knowing when to play somebody and when not to. Like Whiteside, again, like all the Trailblazers are going to be in smash spots today because there's so much usage to go around with a guy like CJ McCollum being out. And they're all underpriced. So we'll take those plays that we just added in here. We'll throw it into the optimizer, see what we get. So we are getting... I'd rather get to Whiteside. Draymond. Hayward I want. Just lock it in here. Use this lock button. Lock the players you like. Just go boom, 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 boom. And generate it again. This is a lineup with 4 Blazers. Lyles has been playing okay, but I don't love him. I think we could get down from Draymond. He just doesn't really excite me all that much. Guy I like to roster down here, Royce O'Neal, just plays a ton of minutes. Aldridge just really cheap. Something like this. Lillard, Trent, LeBron, Gordon Hayward, LaMarcus Aldridge, Anthony Simmons, Royce O'Neal, Hassan Whiteside. I like that for a late night game, or for the late night slate. Anyways, thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the content that I put out. I hope you enjoyed the channel. Click that thumbs up button. It always helps me out. If you want to try the screen that I was just using, you can do so by clicking my link in the description below. 30 days for $1. It'll be the best value in any industry that you'll get. You never get a free trial anywhere else. You get a full free trial, 30 days. It's a whole month for just $1. Gets you all the ownership you could ask for, all the information. It's all built into Draft Dashboard. Here's a mass lineup generator. So I could take 100 lineups within whatever salary you want, randomness, unique players. You can set your max exposure to a certain percentage, 25, 75, 100. Expand your player pool if required, minimum, all kinds of good stuff here. So click that link in the description below. Try it out. Let me know how you like it. If you don't like it, you can get rid of it. If you like it, you can hang on to it. Just give it a shot. Alrighty, well, thanks for stopping by, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content, and good luck today.